We live in a world in which many people feel compelled to fake it to make it. So many people live in the charade so that they can fit within the pantheon of society. They say and use so many words without any conviction to support them. They drive luxurious cars and live in suburban and upscale communities without sustainable financial reserves. They maxed out credit cards, wages, and loans to wear name-brand shoes and clothes. In public, they may look good and fit in some affluent circles. Still, when alone, fear, uncertainty, and anxiety torture them all night because they have to scratch their head during many sleepless nights to figure out how to find the next loan or credit to keep faking it to make it and fit in. What a life of misery. An African adage says, "Cut your coat according to your size." How awkward it looks and feels when we try to dress in a suit and shoes that are too big or too small. Such a life of lies and masquerading as someone you are not will eventually lead to horrific ruins and embarrassment. Resolve to be yourself despite the temptation to be someone else. True people will admire you for remaining true to yourself, but despise you for trying to be something or someone else. Learn to live within your means, but be determined to work smart to get the life you envision without any pressure. When we live to please God within our means, He blesses and brings us into positions and places we least expect. Proverbs 8:18-19 says, "Riches and honor are with me, God. Yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver." The Bible warns us against trying to get rich and famous at all costs, because it only leads to harming others and ultimately destroying ourselves. Proverbs 10:22 says, "The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and He adds no sorrow with it." On the other hand, many people have pierced themselves with many sorrows due to their obsession with wealth and fame, according to 1 Timothy 6:10. Dream big and work towards those dreams within the means God approves. Trust God to get you to the top according to His ways and time. In the shadows of their carefully curated lives, many individuals grapple with the disconnect between appearance and reality. They wear smiles, flaunting the latest trends and luxury items, but inside, they are drowning in debt and desperation. The constant hustle to maintain an image consumes their every waking moment, making them slaves to a lifestyle dictated by societal expectations. Even as they mingle at lavish parties, their minds race with thoughts of bills due and the uncertainty of the next paycheck. The masquerade becomes exhausting, slowly eroding their sense of self. Each decision is fueled by the fear of rejection and the overwhelming desire to belong, creating a vicious cycle that is hard to escape. Deep down, they yearn for authenticity, but feel paralyzed by the weight of judgment that accompanies honesty. As they scrolled through social media, envy seeped into their hearts, with influencers flashing unattainable lifestyles that further distorted their perception of success. Gorgeous vacations were showcased, cars gleamed under exotic sunsets, and lavish dinners were documented in perfect detail. The compelling need for validation amplified their insecurities, as each scroll left them feeling more inadequate and disillusioned. It was a facade, an ever-elusive mirage that promised happiness, yet delivered nothing but despair. In quiet moments, they questioned the path they had chosen. Was this truly living, or merely surviving beneath the weight of societal demands? Amid this whirlwind of false portrayals, a voice deep within begins to whisper, urging them to pause and reflect. What if, instead of adhering to a fabricated image, they dared to embrace their true selves? The notion seemed both terrifying and liberating. The fear of judgment danced on the surface, yet the promise of authenticity glimmered enticingly in the distance. The adage, "Cut your coat according to your size," took on new meaning, a reminder that true richness of life cannot be measured by material possessions, but rather by inner peace and fulfillment. Could they muster the courage to step away from the perils of envy and self-deceit? They imagined a life where contentment thrived, built on values and relationships rather than superficial accolades. It was a daunting thought, but also a hopeful one. And with it came the realization that true admiration would arise from honesty, not pretense. If only they could shift their focus from the mirage of luxury to the transformative power of resilience and honesty, perhaps they could redefine their existence and inspire others to do the same. Taking a deep breath, they resolved to take the first small step toward this newfound vision, ready to discover what lies beyond the masquerade. With each passing day, They felt the pull of their old habits, yet the desire for authenticity burned brighter. They envisioned a future anchored in honesty, where their worth wasn't dictated by their possessions but by their resilience and character. Friends who cherished them for who they truly were began to surface in their mind, and they recognized the beauty in vulnerability, the courage to share their struggles openly. The weight of expectations started to lift, making room for genuine connections, and for the first time in a long while, a glimmer of hope illuminated their path. Embracing their true selves, they took small but deliberate steps away from the phantoms of comparison and dread, toward a life where fulfillment reigned over fleeting validation. With renewed purpose, they began to cultivate deeper relationships, grounded in trust and understanding, choosing authenticity as their guiding principle. The journey was gradual, filled with challenges, yet each moment of honesty led to profound joy and resilience. In the end, they discovered that true wealth lies not in the possessions they once chased, but in the freedom to be unapologetically themselves.